Horror movies have the widest gap of any genre. No other genre has a masterpiece and a disaster that are literally about the same thing. For every 5-star horror movie out there, there's a 1-star version that tried to do the exact same thing and failed completely. And I mean completely. We're talking 2 movies about the same killer, released the same year. One of them sits at a 7.7 on IMDb, the other one sits at a 1.3. I'm your host Chase, and today we're going through 6 of these pairs to find out exactly what separates the best from the absolute worst, starting with a movie that spent $19,000 on a lusty goblin. Seriously, dude.
What?
The movie was released in 2020 on Amazon Prime. I don't know how they even got it there. And no, I did not lie about the budget. It was $19,000. Not 19 million, 19,000, which is roughly what a used car costs. Except this particular $19,000 went toward a horror movie about a woman trying to escape her abusive husband and also a goblin.
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
The goblin itself was made with CGI on what I can only assume was a laptop also running 11 Chrome tabs. One reviewer described it as an Instagram filter you put on the ground. Another called it a poster child for why you should not use CGI with a micro budget. Both of these people were being generous. Now, you might be thinking, alright, small budget, but maybe the plot can save it? Well, the plot is about a woman who has an abusive husband. That woman then has an escape plan, though there's a goblin in the woods. Manageable. Except the movie has an ending. And that ending is the woman turning around and revealing a pregnant belly.
Damn, girl. You grew up.
Her baby. The goblin's baby. She and the creature from the woods are expecting, or at least that's what it looks like. One reviewer described the scenes leading up to this as, direct quote, "Every time the goblin eats someone, it looks like they're 6ix9ing. I watched the trailer before including that. The reviewer was being accurate. There's also the small detail that the same 15 seconds of ambient sound plays on a loop for the entire 72-minute runtime, including scenes that are not meant to be creepy at all. I'd give it 3 out of 10. The goblin had more chemistry with the lead than the script did.
You serious?
Maybe this reviewer got it completely right. But where goblins spent $19,000 making a creature nobody wanted to look at for a 1-star movie,
Stop it. Get some help.
A Quiet Place spent $17 million on one nobody gets to see. John Krasinski directed it, co-wrote it, and did the motion capture for the creatures himself. It was Emily Blunt who suggested he direct it in the first place.
Good job.
It opened at number 1 with around $50 million its first weekend, and landed at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. The whole film is built around withholding the monster. You spend most of it hearing it and imagining it, which, as it turns out, is considerably more terrifying than an Instagram filter on the ground.
Not bad, not bad.
Now, not every horror franchise learned that lesson. Some of them just kept going till nobody was left to care. Scary Movie 5 came out in 2013. The premise is a parody of Paranormal Activity, which is itself a movie about a camera pointed at a bedroom. Not a lot of raw material, you know? The film opens with Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan, both playing themselves, having a paranormal encounter in a mansion. That is the first scene. It gets less inspired from there. The plot follows a couple who discover 3 feral children living in their cabin, which leads to a series of gags parodying Mama, Evil Dead, Black Swan, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Most of these gags work by pointing at the reference and waiting. That is the joke. You recognize the thing, that is the whole joke. Anna Faris, who starred in all 4 previous films, did not come back. None of the original cast did. The film landed at 4% on Rotten Tomatoes and 11 out of 100 on Metacritic. One reviewer described watching it as feeling like, someone shoved a flaming metal Lego in my eyeball. Another wrote that, even the people in the theater were quiet as rocks, and they were teenagers. A third called it cinematic blood money, looted from the pockets of unsuspecting moviegoers. That last one might be going slightly far, only slightly. 2 out of 10, the feral children had better comedic timing than the writers did. But where Scary Movie 5 spent $20 million making a parody nobody laughed at, the original Scary Movie spent $19 million and made $278 million back. Keenan Ivory Wayans directed it. It parodied Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, two of the biggest horror films of the late 90s. And it broke the R-rated opening weekend record at the time. I freaking love this scene.
Come forward.
Reporting live for Black TV. White folks are dead. We're getting the fuck out of here. Let's roll, damn it. Come on, back. Let's go, motherfucker.
Okay, one more.
Yo.
What's up?
The reason it worked is the same reason the fifth one didn't. It had an actual opinion on the movies it was riffing on, not just a plot that gestures at them and leaves.
Hi.
Okay.
Now, I have to be honest, I personally liked Scary Movie 4 for the most part. The Japanese ghost scene, you know? I know. Flame me in the comments for it. I don't care. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi.
I'm just childish, alright? Now, at least Scary Movie understood that you have to remain on Earth and not just go to space for no reason. Ugh, okay, Jason X came out in 2001 and answers a question nobody asked. What if Jason Voorhees was in space?
What? What the fuck?
The Friday the 13th franchise had burned through every available setting by that point. Camp, city, hell. There was really nowhere left. So, they put him on a spaceship in the year 2455. I would love some of that stuff they were smoking when they came up with this idea. I would have also loved to be in the boardroom pitch meeting. That would have been an absolute shitfest.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
The plot is, Jason gets cryogenically frozen in 2008, wakes up on a research vessel 450 years later, and immediately starts killing the crew. That's standard, right? Except in the third act, he gets hit with a nanite injection that upgrades him into what the film calls Uber Jason. Chrome helmet, bigger build, still walking at exactly the same pace.
Good job.
There's also a scene where the surviving crew plug Jason into a virtual reality simulation of Crystal Lake, complete with two girls offering him a beer, then taking their tops off, claiming they love premarital sex. Yes, that is an actual scene from the movie to buy themselves some time. Oddly enough, this works. He kills the virtual teenagers instead, and I freaking lost it as it had real Scary Movie vibes to it. The Rotten Tomatoes consensus doesn't give it enough love. Jason goes to the future, but the story is still stuck in the past. IMDb reviews make it better though. As one reviewer wrote, the human race has not evolved much. In the future, teenagers are still horny and vulnerable to psychos named Jason. I want this particular reviewer to speak at my funeral, please. Just shoot me a message, okay? Let's top it off with what might be the most honest film review ever written. Someone else said, I hope the person who suggested that Jason to be cryogenically frozen for over 400 years and put on a spaceship had a promotion and raise. It is the natural direction that all franchises should go. 3 out of 10. The only thing that aged worse than Jason's machete is the CGI spaceship exterior. Like, come on.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
But where Jason X had no idea what to do with a killer in a confined space, Alien built its entire premise around exactly that. Both films had roughly the same budget. Ridley Scott put his own children in scaled-down suits to force perspective in the creature shots. He told Yaphet Kotto off camera to genuinely irritate Sigourney Weaver so the tension between them on screen was real. I probably totally butchered those names, by the way, sorry. Meryl Streep was considered for Ripley before Weaver, who was virtually unknown at the time. The film grossed over $100 million worldwide. Jason X grossed $17 million. Same concept, same budget range, very different understanding of what either of those things was for.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Alien understood that the scariest thing isn't the monster itself, it's having nowhere to go. Not every filmmaker got the memo. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey tried to make something familiar feel threatening. The premise, Christopher Robin goes off to college and abandons Pooh and Piglet in the woods, without food. They go feral. Years later, a group of college women rent a cabin nearby, and Pooh and Piglet decide to murder them. Like, dude, what is it with these college women and horror movies? Maybe I should be a slasher, you know? Ladies?
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
The budget, somewhere around 100K, grossing 7.7 million? This is not a one-star movie by any profit margin, but alright. Runtime was 84 minutes. Razzie Awards won 5, maybe 6, including Worst Picture. Lovely.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
The film opens with a hand-drawn storybook sequence explaining the abandonment backstory, which is really the most effective part of the movie. Then Pooh shows up. He's a man in a latex mask standing next to a wood chipper. The horror scenes were shot in what appears to be full afternoon sunlight. One critic noted the scenes specified to take place at 3 a.m. were visibly filmed in daylight. The same review opens with, "If you go down to the woods today, you'd better be blind drunk." On Rotten Tomatoes, one audience member wrote, "Made on a shoestring budget, and it's shoes." I don't like that pun, not gonna lie, that totally sucked. Do better. 2 out of 10. The storybook intro deserved a better film, honestly. But where Blood and Honey turned a children's icon into something nobody found scary, Midsommar took a Swedish folk festival, colorful, sunny, full of flowers, yay! And it made it one of the most unsettling horror films of the last decade.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
Ari Aster wrote it during a personal breakup, and it shows in every frame. The whole film is set in broad daylight, which Blood and Honey managed by accident. Midsommar did it on purpose. A24 asked Aster to cut it down on several occasions. He shot it outside Budapest because Sweden was too expensive, and flew Swedish extras to Hungary to play the villagers. It landed 83% on Rotten Tomatoes and grossed 48 million worldwide. Turns out, daylight horror works when you actually mean it. But if you want to know more about the horror of that production, you can watch my video on it after this one.
Okay, let's go.
The director behind Midsommar made a film because they had something to say. Others make one because there's still equity in the franchise name. Jaws: The Revenge is the second kind. The premise of the fourth and final Jaws film is that a great white shark is personally targeting the Brody family. Yes, it makes Sharknado look like a reasonable film. Ellen Brody becomes convinced of this after a shark kills her son on Christmas Eve in Amity. Her response is to fly to the Bahamas to visit her other son?
Are you kidding me?
Maybe you should go somewhere without, like, water. The shark follows her there. She also develops what the film treats as psychic visions of the shark. This shark roars like a lion.
Ooh.
As pointed out by one IMDb reviewer, "This is the first time I've heard of sharks having vocal cords." Another asked, "If you attributed to your family's deaths to a great white shark, wouldn't you want to go somewhere like Oklahoma instead of the Bahamas?" Hey, that's what I just said. Thanks, reviewer. To make things even worse, the mechanical shark also appears in several shots with its support structure visibly showing through the latex. It's so bad that it's funny. God. Michael Caine appeared in this film, by the way, for $1 million and about 10 days of work in the South. His words about it are kind of iconic, honestly. He noted never seeing the film, and that is, like, by all accounts, horrible. But he did see the house that it built. That one is terrific. The film had a $23 million budget and grossed $20 million domestic. Seriously. Michael Caine's house cost more than the film's profit. 2 out of 10. The shark deserved a better motive, honestly.
That's not right.
But where Jaws: The Revenge had a shark with a personal grudge and a visible support structure, the original Jaws had a mechanical shark called Bruce that kept breaking down on set. Spielberg had no choice but to hide it, filling the gaps with John Williams' two-note theme and point-of-view shots from the water. The shark works because you mostly don't see it. That accidental restraint made Jaws the first film in history to gross $100 million in theatrical release. Maybe that's where Bird Box got its inspiration from.
Another one.
But then we still need to talk about the final entry on this video, where for Jaws, the equipment failing saved the film. Sometimes nothing can save it at all. Remember what we mentioned at the start? 2 movies about the same premise, released the same year. One has a 7.7 on IMDb, the other has a 1.3. Here it is. Curse of the Zodiac came out in 2007, directed by Oli Lamel. The plot is, the Zodiac Killer is on the loose and a detective is trying to catch him. That's it. That is the entire story. Except the Zodiac Killer in this film is a bald man with neck tattoos whose voice has been overdubbed with a German accent.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl!
Yeah. And that's not even the best part. His primary characterization is calling everyone he encounters fat fucks. Like, constantly. At least 50 times across 82 minutes.
Yeah, I got one. You're a fat fuck.
There is also a subplot involving a stripper talking to a pimp about her dreams that takes up a significant portion of the runtime. The camera spins and zooms at random intervals throughout, including during scenes where nothing is happening. One reviewer on Amazon described it as the cameraman developing a sudden case of Parkinson's disease toward the end. Another reviewer on IMDb noted that Lamel makes fellow countryman Uwe Boll look good. Uwe Boll directed Alone in the Dark. That film has a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. Making him look good is not a small achievement. The same reviewer also wrote, Lamel isn't a director, he's a serial fuck of cinema. Oh god, I have to censor that. That is not family friendly. 1 out of 10. The actual Zodiac Killer was more coherent than the screenplay, which, come on. In the same year, David Fincher released Zodiac. Fincher and his team spent 18 months investigating the actual murders before shooting a single frame. The film has over 200 visual effects shots. His original cut ran over 3 hours. It sits at 7.7 on IMDb and 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and is considered one of the better crime thrillers ever made. Same subject, same year. One filmmaker spent 18 months trying to understand the Zodiac Killer. The other one just called everyone fat fucks. Again, the boardroom pitch meeting for that movie would have been great.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Which movie was your favorite? And if you had to pick a scary movie to be the best, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments, as I am looking to pick some fights over it. It is a hill I'm willing to die on. Okay, awesome.